Mahmudullah. Mahmudullah made his one-day international debut in 2007. After successfully surviving a decade in international cricket, the all-rounder now has 25 tests, 145 ODIs, and 58 T20 internationals to his name. While the numbers don't do justice to his talent, he's content with what he has achieved. However, that only makes him more determined to repay the faith shown in him and help his team get better. He speaks to Cricbuzz about his career, being a big match player, his transformation over the years, and much more. Excerpts. According to you, how has been your journey so far?
So far, alhamdulillah. But I believe that I should have given better services to the team. I think this is the best time in my career to give my best shot after playing for so many years of international cricket. I've gained a lot of experience during these years and now it's the right time to pay back. I feel with the experience you also have learned how to take responsibility. Do you feel you've reached your full potential in these 10 years? It is true that I cannot judge it, but what I feel is that I should have done better. I think there was a lot of scope for improvement. I am working hard to minimize my shortcomings because I feel the best cricket of my career is yet to come. Do you feel you got what you deserved after serving the team for 10 years because you missed the 100th test match despite being a part of the squad? I don't like to blame anyone. I feel it was my fault because if I had performed well then no one could have dropped me. I think it was a learning experience for me. Because during my career there were a lot of ups and downs and I prefer to take the blame when I was going through a rough patch. But honestly it had made me realize that you cannot take anything for granted. You need to work hard and perform to earn your place in the team, whether you are a senior guy or the one coming to the dressing room for the first time. After your exclusion some kind of drama followed, like you want to return back and all these things. Was that necessary? I cannot say anything about it. But I am not interested to put the blame of my exclusion on anyone's shoulder and want to take it in my stride as a failure of mine. I think it just was not written on my fate. But again I feel that it helped me to get mentally tougher as it was not easy to accept it right away. It took a while to get back to business, but I don't have any grudge over anyone for the whole episode. You chose to avoid media after returning from Sri Lanka. Was that a conscious effort from your part not to show any kind of emotions at that point? It was not like the way you are putting it. Actually I was concentrating on my work, and speaking to the media is useless if you are performing in the middle. If your bat and ball can speak, I think that is good enough. You can have a grudge over media considering the way you were treated at one point of your career when certain sections raised questions on your ability and started to make it look like you are in Clud Ed because you are a relative of Mushfiqur Rahim. To be honest, it was quite painful to see what was happening during that time, and at times it was quite embarrassing as well. Bangladesh cricket team is not owned by anyone that he can do whatever he like. We know we are professional cricketers and celebrity to some extent. So we have to take everything that comes with the package, but at the same time we are humans as well and have a personal life too. I am not putting fingers on anyone, but before making such conclusions just try to realize how you would have felt if you were on my position. Do you feel you could have managed to earn your own identity if you had a fixed spot in the batting lineup? It always seemed that you are there to fit in to provide balance to the team. Look, it is only during the last 3 years that I am batting in the top order. When I started my career back in 2007 I always batted at 7 or 8 and at times bowled a few over when required. I accepted it and moved forward knowing that I need to perform whenever there is a scope because it won't come too often. So in a sense I was like a mini all-rounder who performs at times while fails on other occasions. But as I am having a new role now with a place in the top middle order of our batting lineup, the scope certainly is turning out to be bigger for me. But at the same time I need to perform consistently to make sure that my place is intact in the playing 11. Don't you feel that your promotion in the batting order was a bit late considering your temperament and technique? You always batted up in the domestic circuit and quite successfully as well.
I think my role in national team was quite different from that of domestic cricket, and I always believed that contributing for the team is my sole purpose to play wherever I am playing, whether at international level or at the domestic circuit. Earlier I was a bowling all-rounder, or like the way I put it, mini all-rounder, but now my major focus is on my batting. That is why these days I am working out more on my batting, and as a result my bowling space is getting squeezed up. Though I am always prepared to bowl if the team requires. But I always liked to play as a batting all-rounder, though it was not how it turned out initially, as I used to bowl quite a few over. Now lots of off-spinning options are available in our team, but still I am always ready to bowl. You always play the role of bailing the team out of crisis. Is it demanding because you will win some while you will lose some too? I think it is a blessing from Allah, and I take those opportunities as privileges. I am Muslim and a great believer of destiny. I try to come up with my best when such occasions comes my way, but I cannot say how well I managed so far. The Indian defeat in the ICC World T20 must have taken a lot from you, as it was an occasion that just slipped through our hands despite being in very comfortable position. What went to your when you got out? You must have been mentally shocked? Probably that was a mental barrier for next few matches. I think unless you lose you won't learn much, and probably I had a lesson from that defeat too. Unless the game is over, it is not over. You just cannot get complacent despite being a few meters away from victory, because someone just can come from behind and take away the win from you, and that will ruin all the hard work put together. Why the team throughout the day? It was extremely draining mentally. It was unfortunate as we lost in a silly manner, but then again there was a lot for me to learn that'll help me in future. Any other matches that similar to it? I think that match, against India in World T20, will always have a special place in my heart. I think the Asia Cup match against Pakistan is also quite close in that perspective. Though I was not on the strike for the last 2 balls, still it was quite painful to lose in that manner. I feel I could not utilize the 2 balls that I faced. But it also faded when we defeated Pakistan in the Asia Cup, but honestly you just cannot compensate a loss of that kind with another win, but still it was quite relieving to tell you the truth. What has been the role of Khalid Mahmood in your life? It's hard to explain, but I am a great admirer of him since my childhood, and he has worked extremely hard to help me come this far. He was involved with me from my childhood until date, puts the same amount of effort to make sure that I am thoroughly prepared to face the battle and come out victorious. It is difficult to put it in words, his impact on me in every aspect of life. He was very passionate about his cricket, and it is something that I liked about him and want to play my cricket in the same manner. What changes have you made in the last 3 years as a batsman? I think my mental approach changed, and there are 2 reasons behind it. Firstly, physically I am much more fit, and that helps, while now I try to play aggressive cricket with a positive frame of mind. This combination is probably helping me to play well in the recent past. I am working regularly on my fitness along with trying to develop my skill as well. Every day you go out you learn something new. You have to get better every day, because if you don't improve it won't take long for others to take your position. I have seen this in my career too. Do you feel Hathura Singh played a big part behind your newfound aggressiveness? I think because he gave us the freedom to play to our strength, and that helped a lot, not only for me but also for the other member of the team as well. He provided me with the scope at 4, and after his arrival my batting pattern also changed quite a bit. Initially I felt that I can show my potential batting up in the order, but now I feel I can do reasonable well playing in those positions, and he is the one who gave me this confidence. He gives license to the batsman to play your own game no matter whom you are facing or in what kind of situation you are playing, and that helps tremendous. You are labelled as a big player for the big occasion, as you scored 3 centuries in ICC tournaments. How do you take it? It's nice to be treated in such a manner, but at the same time there is nothing like feeling that I had made my mark, because eventually you will only get your true recognition when you retire from the game. Until then you need to perform, and if that comes in a stage like the ICC World Cup or Champions Trophy, it is always pleasing. But nothing more than that for the moment. Do you enjoy your role in 2020? I know it quite well because it is well defined by our head coach Hathura Singh. He told me to bat at 7 and act like a finisher, and I am working hard to prove my credentials in the shorter format. I know it is a quite challenging because I like to take my time in the middle, but in this case have to charge from the first ball considering my batting position. This transformation gives me an extra high. And what are your ambitions in Test cricket? I feel that I missed to capitalize my starts, and that is the biggest drawbacks in my Test career. Scoring 40 or 50 is not enough because when you get out you put the team into pressure as you fail to deliver after crossing all those early periods where you struggled just to get yourself in battline. G against bowlers who try to expose your weakness with all their available resources. I am focusing that if there is chance for me to play cricket in whites again, I won't make the mistake that had me pay so dearly.